Let's say you're in the market for a subcompact SUV and you want a little bit more flair and you want fun driving characteristics, and you looked at the Nissan Kicks? No. You looked at the Hyundai Kona? No. You looked at the Ford Bronco Sport, which is kind of a subcompact, and then you want something, you end up with this. Well, this is a good choice. Not only it's the most powerful in its class with a 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque turbocharged engine, made it to a 6-speed automatic. This is the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. It's spelled out Aire in Spanish, which means air. So it's A-I-R-E. This replaces the carbon turbo. It's a new version of the CX-30. It comes in this ceramic metallic paint, which is optional. Synthetic leather with synthetic suede, which is beautiful. I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the specs and features. And before I continue, I wanna give a big thank you to Mazda for allowing me to have this 2026 CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition in my home test area for me to review and live with. Thank you very much, Mazda, and thank you all for watching and liking my videos. Stay tuned, that's coming up. All right, let's talk 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this generation replaces the carbon turbo, and it's gone, the carbon turbo. The turbo engine, of course, remains. This is called now the the Aire Turbo Edition. And I like this paint. This is they call it ceramic metallic, which is very bright. I do like the angry eye headlights. They are flickering on camera, but that's just the way LED headlights look on camera. They do not flicker in real life. These headlights are also adaptive, so they do this when you turn, and they're auto leveling. And let's talk about it. Design language, Mazda's design language is very, very attractive, very premium looking. So up front, you do have the Mazda radar emblem. My Tesla does have 360 camera, and it has kind of like a dark black chrome all over the front, parking sensors all over the front, and turn signals are actually down here in all CX-30s. And it's a good looking little pocket rocket, which we'll go over in the driving section. It is sitting on Bridgestone Turanza tires, wrapped in 215, 255 on black wheels in this particular trim. Black mirror caps with integrated turn signals. It does have keyless entry as well, so you can walk up to it, put your hand on the door handle, it unlocks. It does have a standard sunroof. And this is Mazda's smallest SUV, so I'm going to zoom out here so you guys can see how little it is. It's very little, very little. It does have the chunky black cladding. Mazda says the reason why they did that is so in case of an accident, you can easily replace them. All the way on the bottom as well. You do have a nicely integrated little spoiler. You got full LED headlights and taillights. So reverse, backups, everything is LED. And this is what it looks like behind. You have the CX-30 Turbo badge. Also kind of like a shiny chrome black here, which is cool. Skyactiv-G Turbo badge there. Parking sensors are also integrated. And now that we're back here, let's look at the cargo area, which it's not big, and it does have 20 cubic feet behind the seats. This cargo cover is optional, one of the optional features that you can buy with it. And it also has a spare tire, which also has the upgraded Bose sound system subwoofer right there, which is nice to see. You do have a little bit of LED lighting there. The seats can be folded flat, and you can push them down to maximize the cargo capability. And you can close and lock the hatch. And before we go in the interior, let's take a look at what powers this little pocket rocket. In this application, it has the upgraded turbo engine, which of course, that's what the name says. It's Turbo Aire. And it is Mazda's very capable 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that makes 250 horsepower and 320 pounds-feet of torque when you give it premium fuel. But if you don't want to give it premium fuel, you still get 227 horsepower and 310 pounds-feet of torque, made it to a 6-speed automatic. Standard all-wheel drive, Mazda's i-Activ all-wheel drive is standard in every single CX-30, even the base models. Very little tidy engine bay. And that's pretty much it under the hood. Let's jump inside. Let's look at the features, the specs of this 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. Aire Edition, excuse me. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. And for those of you who's never seen a Mazda key, this is what it looks like. You have lock, unlock, that opens the trunk, panic button, kind of looks like a little bit of a Zippo lighter. That's what Mazda keys look like. Super straightforward. This vehicle, like I mentioned, does have keyless entry, so you just walk up to it, put your hand on the door handle like so, and it will unlock. Only on the front two doors. The back doors you need to unlock it, and it does have a sensor to lock it right here, which is hard to pick up on camera. And let's step inside. So this one is a combination of black and white leatherette materials. It looks very fancy. Door panels are softly padded. You do have injection molding stitching here, which is very nice. I do like this continuing line for the door handle. My tester has the upgraded Bose sound system. That's Bose sound system. That's where you see that. Speakers are highly mounted here. Auto up and down or for windows, power door locks and mirrors. And let's talk about these seats. These seats are very, very nice, very premium-like. These are finished in synthetic suede in the middle, which is very nice, and synthetic leather as well. You do have power driver's seat with two-way lumbar support, and it also has 2-position memory right here, which is super nice. Sadly, the passenger is not power. It does have an itty-bitty sunroof, but as you get one. And my tester has the optional illuminated door sill, so this lights up at night. So total price for this tester is $37,204 because of the metallic paint, destination, and the door sills. And getting in here, you feel very snug in here. It is a tiny vehicle, so I think it might be the smallest in its class compared to the Hyundai Kona, the Nissan Kicks, and the Crosstrek, all the competitors. But this one is definitely the most stylish out of all of them, because Mazda flair is very different. This whole entire piece is suede, which is super nice. And right here has Mazda's 10.25 inch information display. Infotainment system with, of course, backup camera, because it is a modern vehicle. My tester, being the CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition, does have 360 camera with trajectory lines, and you can change the different angles of the camera if it lets me do it. And let's see. Yep, there it goes. It changes the angle. You can still see pretty much everything. Super useful technology. And you could, of course, also activate the camera by pressing this button right here if you're stationary, and you can see in front of you. And in front of me there is also the speedometer. Even though it looks like a real speedometer, it's not. It's actually a screen, and it's actually a 7-inch display. 7 or 8 inch, one of the two, but it's a decent size. So right there, it looks like real needles, but it's not. And you press this button here on the steering wheel, and it changes to this. It changes to that screen, which looks very cool. So tachometers, real needles. Temperature gauge and fuel gauge are also real needles. Let me zoom in there. The camera kind of fade out, but the gas tank on this guy is about 12.7. It's a tiny little tank, so it should not take much to fill this up. Steering wheel is leather wrapped. It is also heated, and the seats are heated. It does have physical controls for the climate. So right now, dual zone climate control. And yeah, super straightforward vehicle. It does have this little continuous line that goes all the way across. You have real vents over here, synthetic vent, and then another little vent. And moving on to the center console, traditional shifter. Put it back. You could shift down and shift up right here, drive manual mode. Interestingly enough, paddle shifters are missing in this particular trim, which is a weird omission, being that it is a sport, fancy little version of this. It does have also automatic headlights. It does also have automatic rain sensing wipers, auto dimming rearview mirror, which is frameless design with built-in home link right here. And here's a look at the itty bitty sunroof, which slides in, and it's not too bad. And you get a decent size. Also, is one touch to open and close. Super nice. And again, those seats are very comfortable, very plush looking. Here in the middle, this rotary dial controls the screen when you're not in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which remains 100% not touchscreen. So this is the information screen here. It gives you the fuel efficiency, vehicle status. This will show you when the vehicle next service is, and you got entertainment, which is for the music, communication for cell phone, navigation, which does have. Or actually, this does not have the factory navigation installed, but if it did, it will be displaying the map right here, which will show the map. But the good thing that Mazda gives you is every Mazda vehicle is equipped with the GPS navigation antennas. So if you don't get factory navigation, like in this my tester here, you can just get the SD card, pop it in here. Let me see if I can open it. You pop it in there, and that's where the navigation data goes. But every single vehicle comes with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto standard, so you don't really have to worry about anything, and you don't have to worry about factory navigation. I've been using Android Auto. It also displays the information up in the heads-up display, which, let me see if I can get it zoom in. There it is. There's the little floating zero right there, where my finger is. Up the camera. There it is. There's a little floating zero. So it does show turn-by-turn navigation when you have it in navigation mode. Super easy to use. People complain that this is complicated. As a current Mazda 2019 CX-5 owner, this system, once you get used to it, you can't go back. Rotary dial, super satisfying. The little clicky sound that it makes. Volume knob here, and then you could mute, unmute. You could do track forward, backwards. Here's your favorites button. So if you press this, it activates all your favorites, all your radio stations, favorites for navigation as well. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and it does have, see if I can get it here. There's a little wireless charging pad right there. Cup holders right in front of the shifter. Engine push start stop technology there. And lastly but not least, going back to the steering wheel, on the left side of the wheel, you have controls for the media. So you have track forward, backwards, source, volume up and down, and mute. Voice command button and pickup is right here, and hang up is right here. And then info controls that little center screen, so which is nice. I've been averaging about 35 miles per gallon if you drive it with a light foot, because this is a turbo model, so it does have a lot of oomph and power to go around. Back to the middle, you do have electronic parking brake, which that's just this guy here, and then this is the automatic brake hold. So if you're in a hill and you press the brake hard enough, you will see a word hold on the instrument cluster, meaning you can let go of your brakes while you're in a stoplight or anything like that. Thank you, Mazda, for minimizing the amount of piano black. There's a little bit right here. Oh, and this is the drive mode selector, so it only has normal and sport. So if you see the little sport light right there, and I think it has also a off-road mode, so you can press this right here, and it shows this little off-road symbol. Zoom in right there underneath the temperature. a little off-road mode. Ground clearance is about 8 inches off the ground in this one. So it's not super high, but not super low. It's just about right. And that's pretty much it up front. Let's jump into the back. Oh, and the tweeters for the Bose sound systems are here. Yeah, let's jump into the back seats. And then we go for a quick drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's jump into the back seats of the Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. And sadly, materials did not continue back here. Materials are a little rougher around the edges. The soft spatted stuff ended in the front, but that's okay because this is a subcompact SUV. And the seats do continue though, very nicely padded with the synthetic leather, synthetic suede in the middle. Super nice. You do have a door sill here also, but back here it does not eliminate, only in the front. And let's step inside, and this is a very tight fit. This is when you know how little this vehicle is. Keep in mind, this is a subcompact SUV. The seat is adjusted to how I drive. I am 5'8". Very, very tight space back here. There's a look. There's a look of how it looks like when you from the back seats. You do get 2 air vents back here. No USB ports, no charging, no pocket behind the driver's seat, but you do get it on the passenger seat. So it's a very, very snug fit back here. You do have 2 center cup holders. And let me spin the camera around so you guys can see what I'm dealing with here headroom wise. And yeah, it's tight. It's very tight back here, which, as expected, it is a subcompact SUV. So Mazda just needs to make it a little bigger, not ginormous, just a little bigger in the next generation of the CX-30. This vehicle surprisingly has been around since 2021, which doesn't sound such a long time ago, but it has. But anyway, let's drive the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition and my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. And this thing is fun. I'm not gonna, there's no other way to say it, but it's a fun, very fun little SUV. Definitely a lot more fun than its competitors, because this is the only one in its class that is turbo. So suspension is a little on the rough side. Obviously, you don't buy this for comfort, but I do love the engine note. Is great from this little 2.5 4-cylinder engine, and definitely it lets itself known once you step on it. And again, Mazda prioritizes driving feel engagement, not just an appliance. So you want something fun, you definitely pick something like this. And I'm very curious and interested to see what Mazda comes up next with the next generation of the CX-30. But this one, if they follow the same formula, which most likely they probably will, I think Mazda's gonna do a great job. As a family vehicle, it's very tight back there. It's very small. Yes, the trunk space is decent at 20 cubic feet, but most of the space went to the trunk and not the people space. So this is a great vehicle for a second vehicle, a commuter vehicle for somebody. Definitely not a family vehicle because it's too small. And that's where its competitors, like for example, the Hyundai Kona, it inches out a little bit, and the Kia Seltos as well, because they are a little bigger. And let me put it in sport mode here to get in and put this little turbo motor to work. And I'm already all the way down. And oh yeah, turbo motor spools up, and this thing is fun. It's definitely fun. The power is more than adequate for something this size. So you're definitely gonna have your fun. You're gonna have your cake and eat it too, as they say. Handling is excellent, and that's something that Mazda, one of Mazda's hallmarks is the handling department. But when you want to chill, you set it to cruise control. And let me set it here to the speed limit. It doesn't have the lane centering technology like in the new CX-5, which I reviewed that. That video is coming up soon. But it still will, will continue. We'll do stop and go traffic. It will accelerate, decelerate. It does have lane departure warning, so it will ping pong you back into the lane if it notices that you're drifting away. But besides that, it's a great little car. I'm very impressed with it. It's a great little car. It drives excellent. And for $37,000, even though in today's car market, that's actually affordable, I think it's a bargain. If you even compare this with the Mercedes GLA, because this is definitely pushing above its weight, and it does feel very premium in here. And it's the most premium out of all of them in its class. Visibility is a little compromised in the back. The headrests do get in the way because it is a small car, and you do get a little bit of blind spots, but the mirrors are decent size, so which allows you to see very well out at the sides. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, for liking, and if you do like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so I can continue to provide more content. And before I go, I just want to say that it does have, I might have said it in the beginning, but I want to say it again, it does have wireless, both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you don't have to buy the navigation package if you don't want to, because you don't need to. Because with CarPlay and Android Auto nowadays, your phone is the navigation. But anyway, this has been my first review and full drive of the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition, excuse me. And thank you for watching again. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.